Coming up on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. We've been talking with Scott Taylor, who is from the R25 Theater Company, and we're going to be talking about how the arts in Sacramento are really rising to the occasion, coming up after all of this time with new plays and all kinds of interesting arts events. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. With me in the studio is Scott Taylor. He is from the California...
The R25 Theater Group.
R25 Theater Group. It's hard to get out of my... because the overall organization there is called California Stage, or R25.
Right, exactly.
It's got two names.
And that kind of reflects some of how things are progressing at the facility. You know, there's a lot of performing arts groups that use the R25 Arts Complex. Mm-hmm. And... frankly, the R25 Theater Group is a new one.
It's a new one.
We're just getting stood up. Uh-huh. But, you know, groups such as Resurrection Theater Company and Ovation and the Actors Theater of Sacramento and California Stage, which is a terrific production group, along with lots of other people who take advantage of the rehearsal spaces and whatnot. So pretty much everybody who's anybody in community theater in Sacramento has performed or used the R25 Theater Complex.
And it's a complex, so there are how many? What's it?
Well, there's three different stages. There's a black box called the Three Penny. Mm-hmm. There's a theater known as the Wilkerson, mm-hmm. which is not a black box. And probably seats, if I had to guess, I'd say probably 45 or 50. Mm-hmm. And then there's the California Stage, which is a large stage that has a big amount of floor space. Actually, it might be the largest stage in Sacramento, other than maybe the Music Circus. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of space. Uh-huh. And it seats upwards of 130, I think.
Well, I've seen large musicals with lots of people on that stage before.
Right, and so with between the three sizes of the stages, plus some of the, not offices, but there are rooms that can be used for rehearsals. There's lots of arts instruction going on. I know mm-hmm. there's some theater instruction that goes on in there with teachers mm-hmm. And groups that meet. And then, of course, there's the Poetry Center and some arts. I think a couple of art studios.
Sacramento Poetry Center.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's a very live, vibrant facility that is, I think, kind of coming out of the COVID torpor, along with the rest of Sacramento theater right now.
Oh, I can say that. And that sounds like a really wonderful thing that's happening. They're kind of roaring with plays and poetry and all of that. Well, are there any summer events?
In fact, there are. There is something called the Month of Sundays music program that's going to be coming up, starting, I believe, in August. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be, every Sunday, there's going to be a band performing, I believe, at 7 o'clock. Uh-huh. If you buy a ticket, you get a sundae.
Oh, I see. It's on the screen there.
Oh, there we go. See?
Month of Sundays.
The magic of television.
And you get a sundae with your ticket?
You get a sundae with your ticket. I think the first group to perform is Darden, which is a they've performed out of L.A. and in Europe. And I don't know if we've seen them a lot in Sacramento, but they should be very interesting. Kind of rockabilly, could be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then there will be, the next Sunday will be a group called Proxy Moon, mm-hmm. which should be a lot of fun. And there's an accordion in the band and some guitars
and a local
horn.
Group. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on with them. And then two groups to be announced.
Okay. Now, these are the groups. So this must be Proxy Moon.
Yes, that is Proxy Moon. And let's face it, anytime you've got a scrub board as a piece of music, you're in good company.
You know they're not doing Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, exactly. And that'll be and this is all taking place outside in the R25. There's a little outdoor stage that's been set up.
Is this it?
Yes, that is it. And you can see that, so it's an elevated space. The audience is able to space, kind of have a little COVID spacing, so nobody feels too encumbered. All the seats are good, and it's I think it's a lot of fun. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I encourage you. They've used that space for other things like radio plays before too. So,
Radio?
Oh, yes. There's the Third Age on Stage radio group that does murder mysteries from the late 40s, early 50s.
Wow.
We've got a couple coming up this year, in fact.
Is that the murder mystery? Oh, no.
No.
That was the band again, right?
That's the band. They're much more alive than the victim in the murder mystery.
Do we have any pictures of the Darden group, you said?
I don't know.
The Darden group sounds like rock.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. There they are. Yeah, that's a picture. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
in fact, it says Darden on the drum. See it?
Oh, it does.
Is that what it says?
Yes. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Tough guys. Whoa.
Oh well, they're out of L.A.
Yeah, right.
So
that really looks like out of LA. It actually looks like out of Oklahoma.
You have to have a certain flavor.
Oh, tough guys.
But they should be pretty good. They apparently have a pretty good following in LA, and they've toured, they've performed in Europe and done some touring, I guess. So,
wow.
They should be a lot of fun.
Good. Well, we'll have a look at them, and we'll do that. So tell me more about the radio drama.
So the radio dramas this year, last year we did a couple of a couple of performances of the radio dramas from the Candy Matson series. So apparently Candy Matson was a radio program that ran in the late 40s, early 50s.
What's it about?
So Candy Matson is a female private eye in San Francisco.
In the 1950s?
In the 1950s, who... and it's kind of it very much is of that time. So she's the tough tooken kind of gal and all that kind of stuff. And they're a lot of fun. So last year we did a couple. This year we're doing two. The first one is called The Egyptian Amulet, which is a little mystery surrounding a piece of jewelry that seems to have a lot of people going after it. And then the second one is a Christmas-themed murder mystery called Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
So we're doing those. There are 3 performances over 2 days. So July 31st, which is a Sunday, there'll be a 2 o'clock matinee. And on August 6th, which is a Saturday, there'll be a 2 p.m. matinee and a 5 p.m. performance. Those performances, in fact, will be taped because theoretically these are radio dramas. And we try to do the Foley art, the old Foley effects with, footsteps on the ground and thump sounds and all that other kind of stuff. Fights, that's right.
All the actors make the sounds?
That's right. All the actors make the sound. Or at least we try to make as many as we can. Some sounds, it's tough to be a car in the background. So we may, there you go. Yeah. Or we may tape some of them.
I see.
But in any event, they should be a lot of fun. There's 2 of them in the performance. So, and they run like, 26, 27 minutes each. And then we'll have, and the group that does this is called Third Age on Stage.
Yes.
And they are all senior or retired
actors. Oh, yeah. So that's something for them to do.
And that's something for them to do. And this year, we some of the old hands from the group in prior performances have come back. We have some new people, although they are also still seniors.
You can name some of them if you want.
Oh, gosh.
People like to watch their names go by.
That's right. Okay, so Candy Matson this year will be played by Linda Taylor. And yes, she's my wife. It's
Sure, yeah, I get that.
But Richard Winters will play the Inspector Mallard of the San Francisco Police Department. He and Candy have a little history, and then I will play Rembrandt Watson, who is Candy's photographer sidekick. And it's interesting because when those were written, there were some ideas about, Rembrandt Watson. There was like some old ideas that are no longer quite
about gay characters.
That's
on
right.
television.
That's right. A little.
About it.
That's right. We talked about that, and so we've decided, we're not going to do that. That's like, I'm sorry, that's no longer appropriate.
Yeah.
But we will. So the choice I made as an actor is, I've decided that Rembrandt is a little plummy. He's a British fellow,
Oh, I
and
see.
so if you want to imagine that somehow that's less than tough guy masculine, that's up to you. But we kind of made a decision not to play up some kind of obvious stereotype, no longer
Well, we have a tough chick
appropriate.
and
That's
an
right.
untough
and
guy.
exactly, and you still get that contrast. And from a radio perspective, it's interesting. And I'm a ham, so I like doing British accents.
This is good. Well, you look like you got a really good team going there.
I think we have some great talent, and we're going to have. I think the scripts are pretty solid. They've been tweaked ever so slightly to perhaps better reflect San Francisco. So maybe they're not going to go to the Rose Bowl. They're going to have tickets to the ballet.
Okay, why not?
Yeah, why not? Things like that. But it's a lot of fun, and we think, and in fact, the R25 Theater Group thinks that there's, frankly, a lot of future in radio drama and radio plays. The fact is that technically, they're a little easier and a little more affordable to put up than a full-length play. They're not quite as demanding on the actors. In terms of time commitment, you can put one up in a couple of weeks versus putting one up 6 weeks, right?
Nights and things.
Right, all of that. And now with the radio itself is not necessarily where they happen, but podcasts and things like that. So we think that there's a lot of opportunity,
New markets,
an opportunity to put stuff out there that people will enjoy, because the theater of the mind is, there's a reason why that
name
stuff.
of the program.
That's
Theater of
right.
the
The theater of the mind. There's a reason why that stuff was popular back
Sure.
in the heyday of radio, and there's no reason to think it can't be again.
There's always been, since the 1950s, a kind of when the radio television came in, radio sometimes gets lifted up into a nice performance mode. I can remember driving back from Berkeley in the 60s, listening to old-time radio from Berkeley to Los Angeles, and some large, powerful radio outfit was putting it on, so I could listen to it all the way from Berkeley to Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can now see. Consider how popular books on tape are.
Oh yes.
And it's not like nobody. People still read. But now the written word is still obviously happening, but perhaps now it's being listened to as opposed to actually read. Yeah. But I think that there's that in its own way reminds me of the notion of of an audio theater environment.
Okay. Well, we'll be back in just a minute. We have to take a short pause for the cause, and we'll be back with you, Scott. We'll talk more about these things. All right, we're taking a short pause for the cause. We'll be back with you in a minute.
STEM is the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet breaking, record breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside, find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code, dare to invent, dare to explore, dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're back with Scott Taylor of the R25 Theater Group. And we're producing some shows coming up.
We are. Like a new theater company, we are, there's it's a little daunting, but we're there. So we're going to put up in 2023, we have our season. We have a season, we think, and it's going to have there's going to be an April show, and there will be a fall show.
And you're working on a new play?
Yes, they're both of our. So our plan is we're going to do 2 adult shows, and concurrent with those, we're going to have a children's play running.
I
So
see.
same space, same dates, obviously not simultaneous, but the idea that we can have 2 productions happening on a given stage. So in April of 23, we're going to have a new work called Why Don't You Sit on My Lap, which is based on a true incident at a local school, and sort of the fallout of a comment that was taken. It was just the drama associated with a comment made by a teacher.
Wow.
And how that all shook out. Yes, it's been read it's been read once. It's still in development, but we think it's going to be very interesting. Interesting enough, some of the writing is being done by students who were in that classroom at the time.
Whoa.
Which I think is a very interesting idea.
Yeah, it sure is.
Concurrent with that is going to be a play written by Linda Taylor called Warp and Woof, Dogs in Space, which obviously for the kids. A spaceship of dogs discover a planet while at the same time it's being discovered by a spaceship of cats. And cats and dogs, so, mayhem arises. And yet somehow there's a happy ending and we're able to find coexistence.
I love
it. Despite the tribulations of K9 and the SS sausage.
That's just great. Well, that's children's theater. That's good. Sound very imaginative.
Should be a lot of fun. In the fall, we're doing an adaptation of Northanger Abbey, an original script that's also in development by a woman who has a strong Jane Austen background, has done a lot of costuming locally, has in fact written plays in the past that have done well. And so we're very excited about.
So you have a really group of old-time theater people working with you.
We do. Yes, some of these people have. Yes, exactly. In conjunction with that show, the children's show that will run concurrently in the fall of 23 is a 1-hour adaptation of Midsummer Night's Dream. Now, this script has been was originally produced in 1995 by the now gone T Street Players.
Oh yes,
gone but not forgotten. It won the Ellie for Best Adapted Script. So we think it is the time is right for a revival of the 1-hour production of Midsummer Night's Dream that's oriented to children. And you know it's for the kids because back when it was originally done, The Changeling, if you remember the storyline,
yes,
the Changeling was a Tickle Me Elmo doll. So, so we're not sure what it's going to be this year, but it'll be something fun. And we think it's a lineup that's achievable for our group, that's got a lot of entertainment value, and at the same time has some things to say. There's some relevance to those scripts and some things that can be taken, and we're pretty excited. Even though the fact that, since they're all new scripts, it's, we all have enough experience to be mindful of like, okay, there's a certain leap of faith when you put up a new script. But we're excited. We are confident these are going to be pretty darn terrific.
good. And it sounds like the group itself is a group of people who have done a lot of work on the stage, and in and around the directing.
Absolutely, very experienced. The group's president is Richard Winters, who is now a retired high school drama teacher, but in addition, he's an equity actor. And basically became a high school drama teacher when he realized that I have a family. Perhaps trying to be a struggling actor, is not necessarily the way to go. Also in the group is Michelle Kohler, who is also a retired drama teacher from the public school system, and she has a strong interest in children's theater. So we're very excited to have her involved. A fellow named Lester Horn, who has a strong background in technical theater and building and things. We think that's a great addition. One of our board members is my wife, Linda Taylor, who is a very, very, very skilled and experienced costumer. She just costumed the Chautauqua production of Pride and Prejudice, and so made 17 different original, outfits for Empire
with all
waists
the frills and everything.
And oh yes, the costumes were fabulous, and the coats for the men and military jackets for the officers that were all there. No, so we think that and everybody in that group has directed, including myself, and we all kind of bring our own skill sets. And so we're excited. We think that this is going to be we're excited for the opportunity. I'm reluctant to brag because I know there's many a slip twixt cup and lip, but I am confident that we're going to have a pretty terrific operation. We're excited. We're looking forward to the opportunity to kind of expand the arts for everybody here in Sacramento and to bring in some additional voices and opportunities for actors.
And all of these things are happening at this R25.
R25 Arts Complex.
And that's like Sacramento has got numbered and lettered streets.
That's right.
Found fascinating when I first came here.
It's the grid.
So it's at R25.
R25, 25th Street.
Old factory building.
Oh yeah, it's in the great tradition of semi-underground theater, it can be described as funky.
Funky. Yeah, good. But
the space,
creatively funky.
Yes, but the spaces work terrifically, and there's plenty of parking. It's the fact is it's a mixed-use neighborhood, but there's plenty of residential. I live in the neighborhood. I walk around at night all the time. I think if you haven't been there before, I would encourage anyone to come out and check it out. There's a lot of theater groups that are performing out of those spaces. It's a good facility. And frankly, it's desperately needed because Sacramento does not have a lot of performance spaces.
Yeah, there's this band that you're going to see here. That's what to go see.
That's right. That's I believe that's Proxy Moon.
Yeah.
That looks like a lot of fun.
And
And
Grizel on the right, there's our leader, his leader. But I've seen all of those people before, and they're wonderful.
oh, good. I'm looking forward to it.
That's the program, a month of Sundays.
Yep. So come for the show. Enjoy the Sunday while you're there.
Yeah. I'll enjoy the Sunday while you're there. Yeah,
and look for the radio dramas.
exactly right. Well, I think there'll be more information there on the radio dramas too, right? That's coming up too.
Yes,
What are
that's
the dates for that?
So the performances are July 31st. That's a Sunday at 2:00.
Uh-huh.
We will have a performance, and then the following Saturday, there will be two performances.
That's August 6th.
August 6th, thank you. 2:00 and 2 p.m. matinee and a 5:00 p.m. performance. And those performances will be recorded. So
Right.
we'll have all the recording equipment and the sound engineer and that should be a lot
Candy
of fun.
Matson doing her thing.
Candy Matson doing her thing.
Wow.
You know?
Well, you really enjoy your life in the theater, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes, yeah. I this has really been a blessing. I mean, COVID, I just retired from my day job a couple of years ago, and COVID was quite challenging, because I thought, well, I'm going to be doing theater, and, we went about a year and a half there without any of it. But now it's all coming back.
Good.
All the companies are coming back.
I like hearing that. Thank you so much for being with me.
It was my pleasure, Ray. Thanks
I wish you-
for having me.
Thank you, Scott Taylor. All right, that's it for today. We're going to be back next Wednesday with more art in Sacramento. Watch LiveWire every Wednesday at 5, live at 5.